Welcome back again, Dave's Dimension. Welcome back again for another video. Welcome back to the channel where chaos and insanity will always reign supreme. So we're back again for another unbox. Now this is going to be the mother of all unboxes, I guess we could say. We're doing another action figure unbox. This one is a Marvel Legends. Now, if you've been living under a rock or in some cave somewhere, you might not be aware that basically Marvel has been celebrating the Marvel Studios. There's been a 10-year collection, and now they have what they're calling their Infinity Saga. Basically, they're pulling the greatest and latest from all the Marvel movies. They're celebrating Iron Man 1, Iron Man 2, 3, you name it, all the way through the ages. Iron Man, Captain Marvel, Black Panther, Thor, Captain America, you name it, they're claiming it, guys. So this time around, if you've been watching our videos, you might have seen I had a nice little toy haul a couple weeks back where I picked up a Marvel Legends figure, and we're going to unbox that and review that this time around. What figure is that, you're asking me? Well, we got our hands on SURTUR from Thor Ragnarok. This is one big chunky monkey. Look at this guy. Now, just for comparison, I have a Marvel Legends figure right beside me. That's how huge this guy is, okay? I don't have a Thor. The only Thor I have is an SH Figure Arts Thor, and he can be a little temperamental getting him back on his stand, so I figured we'll just pull out Walmart exclusive Worthy Cap. It'd be a nice collection, nice comparison, I should say. I don't have a Marvel Legends Thor, at least not right now. I'm still on the hunt for him, if I can find him. So we'll see what happens. But hey, if anyone out there happens to know where I can get a Marvel Legends Thor, that is the cinematic Thor, then please let me know. Either hit me up at, you can see scrolling right below you is my Instagram, my Twitter, and you can always reach me at davesdimension78 at gmail.com. So feel free to do so. So let's get right on into this, guys. We're going to bring this down so you guys can get a nice good view right here. Let's actually crank the light up a little bit. Let me just move that out of the way, guys. Sorry about that. And please excuse the mess. I know you can see my shoes and some Gatorade right there. So pull him right out. Nothing else. Just the box. Now, even keeping him in the box is definitely an option. Unfortunately, my box is a bit banged up, so it's not the greatest. So we're just going to set the box down for right now. Now, there are no visible twist ties, no little weird grommets on it whatsoever. Of course, we get the little tech paperwork, the little legal information. So we don't care about that. Let's get his blade out first and foremost. This blade is just sick, guys. I mean, the camera's not doing it justice. I mean, this is probably one of the best weapons that they have made. I mean, we got the SURTUR skull helmet, if you will, right as the scabbard on the hilt of the sword. And look at the color variations that they have here. I mean, this looks fan-friggin-tastic. So we get this sword. We're going to set that off to the side right here. Kind of a funky, twisted He-Man kind of vibe going on here. Now we do get two alternate hands. We get this right open hand, as if he's grabbing for you. And then we get, of course, a closed fist, as if he's trying to punch you. Now, personally, I would love to get my hands on a Thor Ragnarok figure, or, I don't know if this is even a thing, the Gladiator Hulk. That would be pretty cool, too. I know technically that's not canon, so don't shoot me, but I think Gladiator Hulk would be pretty badass. Now, here's the fun part, which is getting this out of the plastic. I think we're going to have to try and pull him out by his feet. There we go. Now, if you're a stickler for nice little details, we get all kinds. Let me just darken this right now. So we get all the various Marvel Legend insignias right here. Avengers, Black Widow, Hulk, Captain America, Doctor Strange. They got everything here. Well, not everything. I don't see a Spidey. No Spider-Man listed in here. Okay. Let's get the lights back up. There we go. In case you're wondering what I'm hitting here, is I have a little light switch toggle for my ring lights, which I have above my setup here. So that's what I'm doing. The detail on him is tremendous. I mean, take a look at that, guys. I mean, he has an open mouth. He doesn't have like a jaw that we can close. And I know a lot of reviewers have said this. They wish that this could be removed from his head, so you can kind of recreate, or if they would have given us a separate skull of SURTUR, so we could have that scene where Thor has it on his back. But I mean, the detail on the sculpt here, the color variations going down the arms, going down the torso right here. I mean, it's tremendous. We don't get the usual side rotation that we do on a lot of these figures, but that's perfectly fine. No, am I wrong? It looks like you should, but I don't want to force anything. Yeah, I don't want to force it because I think I'll snap something off. We do have the, looks what appears to be that hinge or that rotation joint, but it doesn't seem to want to move. So I'm not going to force that. But I mean, the detail on here, let's just move his arm a little bit. Some of the joints are a little stiff. I mean, the detail on here is just insane. The back, we got some fire effects that's permanent on here. That's just kind of like some of the fire is just smoldering right there. It would have been cool if we maybe would have had a little extra going on the skull onto the horns here. The horns are, they're a rubbery plastic. They do not come off. I would not try. But we get kind of like a all-white zombie-like eyes right there. They look pretty badass, almost glowing, if you will. But when you're looking straight ahead at him, you kind of don't see that. You have to have it under the right light, I think. So let's see if we can get kind of a pose going on. I mean, the arms really will not come out that far, so you do have a little bit of limitation. I don't want to force this too hard because I'm sure I could break it. I don't want that. And of course, we have two hands that either can, the hands that are already on him can be used for holding his sword if you wanted. Now, he stands pretty well on his own right there, guys. I mean, I have a foam desk mat right here, and he's standing pretty solid right on top of that. And this is a carpeted floor that's not perfectly leveled. And for comparison, we have little Stevie Rogers all the way from Brooklyn. I mean, the scale on here, he comes to about just to his hip. I mean, take a look at that here, guys. I mean, that's just you hear me say this all the time, it's tremendous, but it really is. Now, I want to see if we can get, because with such a long hilt, I want to see if we can get him to hold, yeah, we can get him to hold both, the sword with both hands. That right there looks kind of badass. I can't wait to play around with this because I have an app on my iPad which will allow me to add some fire effects to him. I really want to do some craziness with him and with that sword. But How badass is that, guys? I mean, here we got Captain America. It's, geez, I mean, like, look at him. I mean, SURTUR, I did get him for $49.99 at Walmart. He was the only one that they had on shelf, so I said I can't pass it up. I've seen other people like the Dude's Nerdery and a few other channels cover him, and I mean, just seeing it in the box, it's amazing. And then seeing what when they took it out and how they posed it. Can you bend the arm? Can you bend the legs around? Yes, you can. They are very stiff, so you may want to loosen them, give them the NECA treatment a little bit. We do have peg holes on the bottom of his feet. So, I guess if you have some stands, you might be able to do something, maybe have the stands maybe grip onto his legs. So it looks like maybe he's jumping or lunging towards something, but I mean, really, he's that big. Do we really need him to do some lunging? No, but you can do some posing with him. Not a lot, I would say, because I mean, if you're gonna have him in any kind of a battle position, I mean, you really need someone who's gonna be big enough, like, I don't know, a Sentinel or some other very large, like maybe even Giant Man of Ant-Man. Maybe something like that is going to be what you're going to want to go for. So, I mean, this figure's just tremendous. I mean, do I really have to give you guys a description or reasons as why you should get him? Now, there are some things. I mean, if you're an Eagle Eye fan, you get really nitpicky. You can kind of see there are gaps here in the leg sockets, the limited functionality of the figure. But here's the trade-off, guys. There might be limited functionality as far as poses or as far as what you can do. You can get some twisting. Like maybe he's ready to, let's just rotate this around, like he's going to strike down on something. I mean, you can do some rotations here. Some of it does it look exactly natural? No, it doesn't, guys. But he has a little bit of a crunch here. You know? Like he's looking down at you foolish mortals. You know? Now the head and neck do not move. We have some swivel up here, but not much. Like we can do a pose right now of, it looks like he's about to bring his sword down on Cap. I mean, that is something you can kind of do with the pose. But he looks kind of weird and stooped over with his head if you have the torso twisted that way. So, I mean, you're going to have to play around with some of the joints. So if some of the joints feel very tough, I would recommend taking maybe not a hot air gun, no. Maybe a hair dryer on very low to loosen some of the joints, but then again, you might loosen them a little too much. So, caution. But I mean, for the most part, one of the best ways to really pose him is maybe you can set up his legs a little bit differently, play around with it just a little bit, maybe bend the legs up a little bit, like you might see a swordsman in that kind of a pose. I mean, there are things we can do, like right here. I'm just kind of positioning him and almost not fully bent over, but he's holding the sword with both hands, like he's about to bring it down on someone. That's one thing we could do. Do we want to do, you know, I've seen some people, oh, hand came right out. I have seen some people play around trying to do almost like a by the power of Grayskull, like a little He-Man pose. You know, I mean, it is something you could do. The hands are not hard to swap out, the fists that is. So, I mean, there are things you could do here. You know, you want him holding his sword, it may be extending his hand out like he's about to shoot or rain fire on someone. you can do that. There's tons of poses that you guys can play with. I would recommend getting maybe a NECA stand, a nice wide round NECA stand for the feet, because that will help stabilize them, obviously, because he's a big guy. He's a chunky boy. He does stand by himself, yes, but to be extra cautious, you know, things happen depending if you're in a flat, stable house or apartment. Vibrations happen. Just to be careful, I would stick a NECA stand maybe on his foot, or one on each foot, just for a little stabilization. So there we are. SURTUR. If you see him in your stores, pick him up. These secondary retailers, if you can find it on Amazon, but eBay, Mercari, you name it, all the other retailers are cranking up the price on this guy. I got him for $49.99. I still consider him worth it. Like I said, there is some limited functionality as far as posing, but that could just be a quality control issue. Could be a case of my issue and not you in general. But the detail and the quality on him, I mean, for lack of a better word, no pun intended, it's just straight fire. So I really love the damn detail that they did on him. I mean, the feet, it almost looks like he's got red lava shoes with black socks on. That would be my only real gripe, other than, you know, the legs really don't, okay, they are starting to swivel a little bit now, so maybe you have to play around with them a little bit to get the swivel going, because they weren't swiveling before, now they are. So maybe you have to play around with the legs a little bit to get that going on. But as far as the hands go, I mean, yeah, I like the hand pose outwards, but with the sword, I think I like the two hands together. You know, him rocking his sword of destruction, if you will. And I mean, the scabbard, or the hilt, I should say, is so long that, I mean, that just looks so badass right there. Maybe turn it a little bit, do a nice little fire effect on here. I think that would be pretty awesome. What do you guys think? So SURTUR, he's definitely a 9 out of 10. 9 to a 9.5 out of 10. If you see him, you definitely should get him. There's no question about it. If you're a Marvel fan, you're a fan of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, you definitely should get him, because how often are we going to get a SURTUR? How often are we going to get a SURTUR figure? Are we going to get another one of these sometime in the near future? I highly doubt it. So if you're a Marvel fan, if you're a Marvel Legends fan, you're a fan of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, jump on this guy. You won't be disappointed. So I just want to thank you guys for dropping into Dave's Dimension. If you're new to the channel, considering hitting that red button, hitting that like, and maybe hitting that bell for future notifications on amazing videos that are coming your way. There's a lot of content coming through. I still have a backlog of figures that I still have yet to get through, guys. We got some Power Rangers. We got a ton of Star Wars Black Series in the queue. Oh, and I still have Goliath from Gargoyles to go through. So, a lot of stuff to go through. So stay tuned. And of course, as always, stay tuned to more Ghostbusters content that are going to be coming through the channel very soon. So until next time, guys, this is Dave from Dave's Dimension saying keep on busting, and I will always catch you on the flip side. Take care.